Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. It is the 12th of July. You're very, very welcome. Glad to have you join us if you're live this morning or if you're watching on the recording, welcome. We're still continuing with our topic of chronic disease as there's so much to discuss. Any questions afterwards, please write to us at education@the-pha.com and we can help you, or you can comment in our section on the YouTube channel. So first to set us off this morning is the beautiful June Tranmer. Good morning, June, and welcome.
Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Well, it's funny how life throws things at you when, you're supposed to be thinking about them. And I was having a conversation with our dear friend Leah, like we do every few days. And she was talking about trauma that's held in the body. Now, I'm not sure if she's aware that we're on that theme because she's never up this early and she might watch the videos on replay. But I was thinking, yeah, we need to address the fact that, we're all about self-help here as much as possible. But sometimes chronic illnesses have got an element, at least, if not the whole cause of some kind of trauma in the past. And we may not even know what that trauma was. And trauma is such a word that people are using a lot these days. And there's PTSD, all of a sudden, loads of people are talking about it. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a real thing. And it's something that reverberates through our body and our mind and our emotions. And then we try and put it away in a safe place. If we've been through a particularly upsetting incident, either we've come to physical harm ourselves, or whether we've observed physical harm to somebody else, or it can go right back to birth, in fact. And I have had people in my Touch for Health classes we work on this healing held things in that as well. And we work back with the muscle monitoring to find out where it was in their lifetime. And one guy went right back to his birth, and he actually went through the whole process of his birth while we were holding his emotional stress release points. I know I've talked about emotional stress release, and it does seem like a very overly simple way to treat something, but actually these two acupuncture points here are extremely powerful if you focus on a particular time in your life. And if you've been in an accident, you can get yourself with help. You need help with this one, guys. You don't go doing it by yourself. Don't start thinking about a traumatic event and then hold your forehead with no support, because you might get stuck. And we don't want that. You need a safe place to be while you're doing this so you can come back to the present time. So that's really, really important that people remember that. But in the class, what we do is we go back to the scene of an accident. The person goes through it. They run it through like a film in their mind, and you stop and you muscle monitor and you check each time you get to a sticky point. And it can be anything. I mean, for some people, it's like when they were in the ambulance going to the hospital, or it's when you come out of the hospital, or, you just don't know where the actual sticky point is. And I call it a sticky point because it's something that sticks. And so, yeah, this guy went right through his birth. And of course, he couldn't remember his birth, but he imagined it. And he was freed up of a certain amount of tension that he had been holding in his neck and shoulders. It's incredible. So what I'm saying is that lots of the chronic ailments that Kerry is mentioning in the Monday posts and the other social media posts, which you might see, a lot of those, it's about managing them, but we can actually clear stuff that is contributing to major chronic illness, including, dare I say it, we can, things like this can contribute to cancer. And I'm not saying that we can cure cancer with emotional stress release. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that if you've got one of these really serious chronic illnesses, autoimmune illnesses, whatever, you can actually address the emotional aspect of it, and then it makes the body's natural ability to do the healing easier because it's not carrying that extra burden. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So yeah, she was talking particularly in the context of domestic violence because, of course, that's her story. And so she, you know, she wants to be able to encourage people who've had similar situations to help them get through it and get over it. But she's been working on letting go of that for a long time herself. So the other part of what I want to say this morning is I was just coming across some more quotes from Eckhart Tolle. Pam Gregory calls him Eckhart Tolle. I'm not sure of the pronunciation. Anywho, he's a brilliant mind and he's written some lovely books. And he talks about our form, our mind, and our essence, which is a lovely way to talk about the three parts, the body, mind, and the spirit. And he was talking about suffering. I think it was an interview he had. I keep picking up bits of these things and never have time to watch the whole thing. It was an interview he was doing with somebody, and he was saying suffering is how we think about what is happening to us. But in fact, we can change the way we feel about this. And I think Maureen is going to talk about this in a minute or two. We can change the way we react to things that have happened to us. We do not need to replay the suffering. And that's kind of what I'm saying as well. Awareness comes when we become mindful and let go of the story we tell ourselves about what happened. And then he went on to talk about the collective unconscious, because obviously things happen now and we're aware of so much more. Like 100 years ago, we weren't aware of what was happening in the First World War. And I say we, I mean humanity. Or maybe some of us were there in a previous life, who knows? And we do bring, I believe, from my perspective, that we do bring some things from our previous life to be healed. In anthroposophical terms, that's the underpinning of the Waldorf education system and the Steiner philosophy. They believe that children incarnate into this current lifetime alongside other children with whom they have issues that they've carried over from a previous life, which is partly why children fight in the playground. So if you take a different perspective, you know, you're telling yourself this story, oh, my child is fighting and I want to fix it. But actually, sometimes you have to let them resolve these things, not to the point where they're going to really seriously hurt each other, but, you know, you have to let them work out their story. You have to let them finish that story. Otherwise, it's just going to come back again next time, you know. So we have to kind of, so listening to our dreams right now, particularly, it will be giving us clues. Apparently, according to the wonderful Pam Gregory, who I quote a lot, she says that our dreams are really, really important right now, because our higher self is trying to talk to us and other issues are coming to the fore to try and be resolved. So do pay attention to your dreams, even the mundane things. I mean, I dream about the most ridiculous things, but sometimes there are some really profound messages in there. If you can keep a little booklet by your bed and catch those dreams as soon as you wake up, because you think you're going to remember and you go off for a pee and then you come back and you go, what was it? So if you can quickly just write down something that will capture it, something later on the day might trigger your memory and you go, oh, yeah, that links in with. So paying attention, being mindful, and thinking about the collective unconscious and our collective trauma, how we are all one right now, and how we share this experience that we've just been through of the past 3 years. And it has been a collective trauma, make no bones about it. We have to think about ways we can heal for everybody. So we change our own internal attitude, and we actually bring that to the fore, the loving kindness to everybody that we meet, including and especially ourselves, of course. And that is helping to heal that collective trauma. So, and that's where I think I'll stop. Thank you.
Thank you, June. That was really interesting what you were saying about the children. I had a conversation with Amanda yesterday, and there was an issue she had to resolve at school. And she went about it in a completely different way to most mama bears, because she had time to think. And she basically said to the teachers, all the children need to be heard, and they all need to resolve the issues. So exactly what you just said. And how lovely, because yeah, so many of us mums might just tear in and tell them what we think. That doesn't always help going forward, does it? So thank you. Thanks for sharing that so much. And next, we welcome beautiful Robyn. Morning, Robyn. With her lovely Qigong.
Good morning, everybody. Well, this morning we're going to do a seated practice. You can stand if you want to, but a lot of my participants do the exercises seated. They do stand up for a while. If they get tired, they sit down. But it's just to show that you can do things seated and even lying down as well. So some of the practices you can do lying down. Okay, so posture is really important in everyday life, but especially if somebody has got limited abilities and seated a lot, because when you're seated especially, you can tend to slump forwards. And if they've got fatigue, falling asleep, your head to one side, you know, we've all done it, I think. So as often as you can, checking in with posture. Very important to have both feet on the ground. If someone's a bit smaller, got shorter legs, then put some books there or a cushion so you've got that connection. And your legs are like a 90-degree angle. And again, just imagining that string just pulling up from the crown of the head. I'll just turn the chair around. Now, some people might have curvatures of the spine and everything else. So all them things need to be brought in to awareness, and just do what you can. If anything feels uncomfortable, then you just slacken off a little bit, but still trying to have that string just pulling up. Shoulders down. So imagine your shoulder blades just melting down the back of the body, like they're being tucked into your back pockets. And just tucking your chin back slightly so your neck's in alignment with your spine as much as possible. And just getting a sense of openness, I'll turn around again, across the shoulders. Now again, a lot of people might have restricted breathing, and posture, of course, it helps, good posture helps to improve your lung capacity as well. And you're making that space in your body, so it's good for your heart and your lungs and everything else. It all combines. So just getting a sense of openness across the chest, in between the shoulders. And you can have your hands on your lap, or you can put both hands on your lower abdomen. Feeling your feet on the ground, feeling that connection to the ground. And your tailbone, again, can still just slightly tuck forwards, just a slight pelvis tilt, not so holding in, but gently pointing down towards the ground. And getting that sense of openness between the vertebrae, just lengthening up. And just notice how that feels. Have you got your weight evenly distributed as much as you can? So feeling your sit bones, and you might just want to shift about so you can feel your sit bones as well. And maybe just rocking side to side. This is a variation of bamboo blowing the breeze. So just rocking from side to side, just to settle in with your body. A lot of people find this very soothing as well. And if you can just think about a bamboo blowing in the breeze, notice how you're feeling. And then just leaning forwards and back. Now, this is good for lower back pain as well, just stretching down the spine to the lower back and coming back towards the backrest, just forwards and back. And just noting if anything feels uncomfortable or painful, then just back off a little bit, just finding your comfortable spot. And then just putting your hands underneath your ribs, and let's just focus on our breath. A lot of people notice restriction around this area. So if you find that when you breathe in, you don't feel like you're getting a comfortable breath, then just massage that area underneath the ribs, around the liver, the stomach, the spleen. Just massaging there. And obviously the sense of touch is very important, because quite a few people, if they feel like the bodies are failing them, they can get quite resentful towards the body. So touch is so important, and being kind and nurturing to yourself is so important. And it might not be easy, but it's a practice. So even if it's just for 30 seconds, and just noticing how you feel. Let the breath come out as much as it can, releasing tension. And then let's go around the tummy now. So the direction of digestion is up on the right, underneath the ribs, across to the left side, and down on the left. So giving ourselves a nice gentle massage, which helps with digestion, of course. It helps to relax the digestive system, the diaphragm, and it can help to improve breathing. And of course, if you improve your breathing capacity, then that helps everything in your body. It helps with your digestion, it helps with relaxing, it can help with sleeping. So just nice and gently, just massaging around that area. Using the breath, so breathe in as you come up on the right and across to the left side. Breathe out as you go down on the left and back over to the right side. Now this really helps with IBS as well. So anything relating to digestive issues, stress-related issues, because that can affect your digestive system, of course. And then just have a little rest on your lower abdomen, crossing the thumbs, noticing how you feel. And you can do that as often as you like, as often as it takes to help you relax and just getting that space in the body. And then let's just do a little bit of tapping. So a lot of my participants love the tapping as well. So just tapping across the chest, relieving tightness, tension across the chest, the neck. A lot of people get neck pain, especially with poor posture. You can support that elbow as well, because sometimes just lifting the arm can take it out of you if you have got any chronic illnesses, or just feeling very tired after any illness, or anything going on in your life that can just drain your energy. So just gently tapping the neck, and then let's tap down the inside of the arm, going in the direction of the channels in the body, and just giving yourself a clap, activating the Qigong points there. And then back up the outside, just tapping the back of the hand, elbow going back up. And then underneath the arm, because that doesn't get a lot of attention unless you may be shaving. So tapping, and even sometimes tapping can be a little bit invasive. So you can actually just massage and then massage down. And this helps with the lymphatic system. Massage down. We can get tender around there as well. And then just have a little shake out, shake off any tension, being gentle, helping to open up through the joints as well. And then go on the opposite side. Support that elbow if you need to. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. So many people hold the breath without realising it. So we need to just be aware of that. Down the inside of the arm. Give yourselves a clap. Back up the outside. Underneath the arm, either tapping gently or just flushing down, massaging down. Shake it out. And then down the sides of the legs. The outsides of the legs, going just as far as you can. Now, if you have any lower back pain, don't go any lower than your knees. If you can go a bit lower, just go a bit further down. The outside edges, the legs, we've got channels going down the outsides and then up through the insides of the legs. So going in the direction of the channels in the body. Then just tapping the thighs, because we need to keep that blood flowing, we need to keep the chi flowing, the circulation and the fluids. Shake it out, shake out the legs. And then just bringing the fingers together, pointing towards each other. We'll just have a little stretch. And again, just going as far as it feels comfortable. Just lifting up in front of the body, having that gentle stretch up, pushing up to the sky, breathing in, breathing out. Imagine a beautiful rainbow of colours going around the body. Now, if you can't get above the head, just go in front, just as far as you can, breathe in, push up just as far as you can, and then breathe out. Bring that space throughout the body and around the body, that beautiful rainbow of colours. Just do that one more time, breathing in, opening up, have a little stretch at the back as well, and then breathe out. And then I'd just like you to close your eyes for a moment and bring your hands to your, sorry, just if you just see what I'm doing before you close your eyes. Bring your palms to your heart centre. And I just want to read a quote. Now, I don't know who's written this quote. I just come across it that I've written down a long time ago. Because again, sometimes we can feel self-critical and feel like we're not doing much and nothing's happening. We can be a bit down on ourselves. So I've come across this and I found this really helpful. Growth and change is happening, even if you can't see or feel it at the time. A flower doesn't bloom all at once. It takes time, patience, and tender, loving care. So be kind to yourself. You are doing the best you can right now. So remember that if you're feeling a bit downhearted. And just remember, we're all doing the best we can given the circumstances right now. So just breathe that into your heart. And breathe out and smile. Smile at yourself, smile at your heart, smile at your body. And then give yourselves a bow. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Robyn.
Thank you. Is it possible that you wrote it? You might have
written it. I
don't think so. You are wise. You maybe did.
You never know. Sometimes when you're in the moment, you can do, can't you? But there's no, I usually like to write down anybody who's written anything.
So maybe it was you. Yeah.
It could be.
happened today. I love all that. Made me feel all tingly. Really, really loved it. Thank you so much. I was thinking, and as I was doing that, my dream came back to me. And it's only because we were speaking about dreams, I know, and how there's something, we need to write them down, but it came back to me, and it was about June. She's going to choke on a drink now. The lovely June. Yes, I was talking about what I was going to do later in a little while this morning. And you were telling me that there were so many, I think it was meridian points around, I'm not sure, it might have been the elbow or the knee. There's about 10 or 12. And you had so much more information and wisdom about the joint than I did. And I think someone else was joined in, someone else from the wellbeing team as well. So yeah, I think about you all the time. Oh dear. And on that note, good morning and welcome to the beautiful, wonderful Maureen.
Good morning. And talking of dreams, I had an odd one just before I woke up this morning. And I woke up having dreamt that I was late, having dreamt that the alarm that I set didn't go off and I was late for Wellbeing Wednesday. But instead, I was 10 minutes earlier than my planned waking up time. And I thought, oh, maybe the message is I've got more time than I thought. Anyway, fantastic. Dreams are amazing. And usefully with dreams, we want to capture how we feel. And sometimes we give too much to the story, but if we capture what we feel, we can do something about that. So this morning, thank you so much, ladies, June and Robyn. You give such a wealth of information. And Robyn, talking about we're an amazing sophisticated system. And if we think about ourselves as the most sophisticated, complex, internal response and communication system, we are, and it doesn't always reflect reality. On Monday, for some reason, I felt that there was a cloud over me, and it was one of those, for whatever reason, was a tough day. And I got to, when I finished work finished work for a couple of hours before I went on Zoom. And I thought, you know what? I felt disappointed that I've had such a lazy day. And I got captured up in my, I can't believe I've wasted the day. And then I thought, right, okay, so what have I done? Trying to be positive and trying to be kind to myself. And the day was non-stop. There was not even time to have lazy, but my reality was calling me lazy. And it's like, it was non-stop. It was absolutely non-stop. I took a quick break to get some food in, like literally a couple of minutes. And yet my mind, the reality of my mind said I'd had a lazy day. And it's so interesting. So sometimes our mind can give us false messages that are not really needed right now, and it's useful for us to learn this. And when we're talking about chronic, we might be chronic pain, and that pain can be physical and it can be emotional. And if we don't need it, then for some reason we're holding on to it. Our internal response system is generating it and sending out signals. And when the body doesn't need that pain, so pain is a warning system to say, stop doing something, or you need to do some healing. If we don't need that, then we can work to let go of it. And the body can be really good. The body and the mind can be really good to holding on to things that is just not needed. And we can have trauma. And as June was saying, trauma is different to everyone. It's a huge, great big umbrella word right now that means so many different things, and it's different to everybody. And what one person feels is trauma, another person will think, you haven't got a clue. That is not trauma. But if it's real to the individual, it's real to the person, and it gets trapped inside. And if you imagine for a moment that trauma, it's like a thing inside us that wants to be released. So if you, for example, got trapped in a room and you want to be released, what do? You bang on the walls, on the door, you scream, you'll do anything. First of all, you might start by saying, hello, is there anybody there? can you let me out? And then that didn't work. So then you'll ramp it up to something else. Hello? And then you can get to the absolute punching holes in walls to try and get out. And sometimes the unnecessary trauma that's locked in our body might manifest itself into physical situations and also emotions. Okay, we're all great at coping with emotions, holding it inside. What is it that takes you to go and address it? It's when it gets big. Most people don't go when it's in the early stages. They wait until it's stopping life, until it's unbearable, and it's easier. So if you imagine, whilst it's in us, it can particularly grow because it can get other emotion friends to come and build into it to increase the chances of it being released. And so we want to ideally do it in the early stages. But if we just recognize that we probably all have an element of trauma. Now, the event that caused it might not even be that traumatic. It might be, it might not be. But because of the way that it attaches other emotions, so if you get my little thing out, if you imagine this is the event and it's a trapped trauma and it's not getting out, then it's going to join friends with any emotion to create an army of emotions. So it's a bigger force to get released. And so we can work with, and so that little trauma is like, wasn't a big deal, but now it's got this huge impact. And beautifully, if the body doesn't need it, the things that we can do to get rid of it. So we want to release anything that is holding us back from being in a place of peace, joy, being our most resourceful self, giving ourselves choice, and that we want to keep it as simple as possible in our mind. We don't have to become therapists to be able to healthily look after the mind and body. And when trauma gets trapped in the body, another example of it, so you can have an event. So it could be an event when I was 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, 20, whatever age it is. And unless we deal with it, and often we don't, we just close the door around it. And it'll stay there, and it will still give us a problem, even though the event is over, even though the time has passed. And also physically, the body can sometimes forget to switch off pain. So that can be, we could have an operation and we have the pain after the operation. The body says, right, I don't want you moving, Maureen, because if you move, the stitches might pull or it'll stop the healing. So I'm giving you pain to keep you still. But then when the healing's there, it forgets to turn off and it's still giving me pain. So as a good example, we probably all heard about somewhere in the news, somebody's had an amputation, and because they had, let's say, pain in the foot and the foot has been taken away, they can still feel the pain in that foot and it's not there. And that's because we are an amazing communication system. So we want to be aware of what needs to be readdressed, realigned, recalibrated, and how looking at how choosing what we can do. And beautifully, there are lots of wonderful things. And as June mentioned, the acupressure system is just so powerful and gentle in helping us to do that. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that I might have benefits from my pain, my chronic illness, my chronic emotions. And for your body to release it, you need to have that element of safety. It's safe for me to so it's like, I've got this physical pain. It's safe for me to really, and it's like, oh yeah, but it gets me out of doing X, Y, and Z. And so if we've got that secondary gain, we might not find that we clear it to the depths that it can be cleared. And sometimes people, if they've had a chronic condition for a long time, it can actually be then woven into their identity. So a useful question, who will I be without this? How will life be without this? And listen, self-awareness is so powerful. Listen to, and so oh no, I just want to get rid of the pain. It's like, great. If you didn't have the pain, how would that be? And you want to make sure that that's clear, because if it isn't, it'll give you some really valuable information. And there are lots of things that we can do. Now I'm going to do a little technique now that we can use in the moment where we want to be managing things. And there are an awful lot of things that we can manage. And so we can ask our mind. Our computer mind is amazing. And we don't have to be so precise with that. We can work with generic language, vague, and it understands everything. So if I say, I'm going to release everything connected to this, and you call it whatever you want, you can give it a nickname, you can give it a shape name, your unconscious mind will know it. So if I say that, if I think about a trauma and think about, okay, I'm going to just give it a shape and a color, and that's what's going to represent it. And my unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, is going to know what that means. So I can say this red balloon, I don't know why red balloons just come to my mind, this red balloon of upset, of pain, whatever it is. And then your mind can be working on that. So all you have to do is refer to that. And by doing that, if we've had a really traumatic event, which is very painful to revisit, then we can actually gently, without letting the mind go to the story of it, because if the conscious mind goes to the story, then we can actually get ourselves right back there and re-traumatize. So to let go of trauma, we can do it in a gentle way without having to relive the trauma. And, I think gentle is the way that we want to do it. And also mentioning children this morning and the challenges of life. When there's an awful lot of fear around, and I was having a talk yesterday with a parent about this, and she was really upset that her daughter 5 years ago experienced a trauma and didn't tell her mum. And she was really upset that her daughter was suffering when she could have been comforted and mum might have been able to help her through it. And she was really upset. But often children do, in the moment, the best they can. And that best they can might not be great. And so again, like the past event that's, hello, will you let me out? And it's like, that doesn't work, so I'll ramp it up. And sometimes children get so stuck in a moment and they can be so full of fear, whether it's a fearful situation or not, it's fabulously fearful to them. And they will do whatever they can to cope with it. And I remember as a child, certain events, and just events where I was feeling a little bit embarrassed. And my mind went into the imagining a big hole in the ground, swallowing and it was a big dark hole and swallowing and taking me away. So that is one of the things that I did. And just for those couple of seconds, then the event, in school, it would move on to somebody else or whatever. But the children do what they do. Now, sometimes because the panic rises, and if you imagine all the communications are like electricity going in and around, and there's so much of them that it just feels so awful. What do you do? And I'm coming across this year more young people under the age of 16 that are getting into such a terrible place that mind is shutting down, and that it's creating a faint situation. And so what we want to be able to do is look at the simple ways that we can cope with in the moments to avoid that, because then that can lead to a pattern. So then the mind thinks, right, in this situation, this is what we do. So when this starts rising up, this is what we do. This is the cutout switch, or this is now bring on the tears, whether the tears are wanted or not, whether the thing is useful or not. The unconscious mind doesn't always have a committee meeting and work out, in this situation, let's see, Maureen needs to know that she's safe. So let's send her a safe memory. Let's make her smile. The mind doesn't work like that. And so sometimes we can repeat what is absolutely not necessary. So a really quick, wonderful exercise. A gentleman called Gordon Gattis, who sadly is not with us anymore. And you may have come across the eye movement desensitization reprocessing, EMDR. And we've got a relationship between our eyes and what's going on inside of us, our thought processes, and also our emotional processes. And so this is useful to just do anytime, any place, and it's quick. So it's a really good coping mechanism. So if you imagine in your mind, we've got lots of files. We've got the files of 1999, just before the millennium, We've got the music, and when we hear that music, it links into maybe our friends and family that were around, the clothes. So lots of different files that are connected with each other. So let me bring this back in. So you could have lots of files that are connected. So when I have hear a piece of music, it can rise up so many different things. When I see a person, it can rise up so many. When I feel an emotion, it can again bring up many things. And so these, imagine they're like filing cabinets. And so they're all attached and they can send signals to each other. Imagine in your mind now that you're creating a brand new filing system that is standalone. So here we go. It's standalone. It's not attached to all of this lot. So it cannot receive communications from this lot and it cannot send them. It's just an empty file. And what we can do is we can tell our mind, pre-instruct, and our minds are good at taking instructions. Anytime I choose any thoughts or feelings that I don't want, I'm going to send them to this. And you can give it a name. You can call it the trash file. And it's not connected to anything else, so it's completely safe. So anytime that I choose, I'm going to send any thoughts or feelings that I'm not wanting into trash. And that's where they'll stay. And it's a huge, great, it's like a TARDIS. It'll never run out of memory space. Now, so you set that as the instruction. And then when you have a sense of something that's coming that is unwanted, you go to your mind and you go, stop. Just that word stop is an instructional. It's a brilliant word, stop, because it truly is instructional. Try it with people around you. If you're not aware of how powerful stop is, just try it innocently, gently in a situation. Just say to somebody, stop, and you'll watch that they stop. So our minds work with the word stop. So stop. I don't want that thought or feeling. Send it to trash now. And on the word now, have your eyes, I can get my eyes up to go from side to side like this. And then you take a deep breath. It's as simple as that. And I've passed this on to so many people for situations where they know they're going to be nervous. So all you do is you go, so think about maybe something minor right now, nothing big right now, something minor, a discomfort. It's like, so if you think about a future event where you might feel a little bit nervous, for example, okay, when you capture that in your mind and you know it's starting to generate the thoughts or feelings, you can go, stop, send that to trash now, and then just do that, and then just take a deep breath in and breathe out through your mouth. Then you just have an awareness, what's going on within me right now. So it might have calmed down, or it might have gone. It might have been replaced by another associated emotion. And if you don't want that, then you do the same again. It's like, don't want that either, send it to trash now, and breathe in, and then just reevaluate. And it works so powerfully. And this is one of, when I'm coaching people for being part of a funeral, this is one of the things that they can use very respectfully in the moment when, and it's like, stop, don't want that. And with practice, you can literally do it in a second. And you can get relief. Capture what else is left. If you don't want that, do the same again. From clients that I passed it on to for attending funerals that they know that they're going to be absolutely distraught. They've got through the funerals and they've only had to do that 3 times. So it's like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. Stop. Yeah, it's still there. Stop. Well, it's nearly gone. Stop. And nobody knows what they're doing, but they're able to get composure. And of course, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with tears. Tears are part of the release system. There's so many reasons why tears are good, but we want to have choice. We want to have choice of how we feel and how we are in any moment. So that's called the DTT exercise method, the dynamic thought transfer technique, DTT, and it's sending things to that trash. And then if your mind says, yeah, but that trash needs emptying every now and again, if it doesn't, because it's like a TARDIS, but if you want to do that, then you can instruct the mind, okay, empty that, send it away to the universe or whatever. And so it becomes really useful. And what we want to be doing is teaching the young people this, especially because children are, when they've got fear that they don't need, they will go into challenging places in their mind. It can cause catastrophe. That I don't know if any of you here remember being a child and wetting yourself when you shouldn't have done, when you didn't want to, and you didn't even need to have a pee, but the trauma in your body caused you. It's like the screaming, if I wet myself, then I'll get some attention. And it's like, but I don't want that to happen. The body's not doing that. The body is looking to do that escaping. And so for a child, an awful lot of children, when I've worked with people on a therapeutic level, an awful lot of their trauma is been when they've wet themselves in infancy or at the age of 8 or 9. And sometimes nobody else knew about it, but they did. And that becomes their trauma. And the past is over. They've got fabulous bladder control now. They're totally safe now. But the mind doesn't know that because it's not switched it off. And often we do not switch off the past. So stuff that's happened to us in the past, it's no longer happening to us, but our mind and body, we haven't switched it off. So we want to get good at recognizing what would be good to switch off. But let's help all the children and everybody around us by using one wonderful word, and it's a safe word. The more we can influence people with safe, even in things that are nothing connected to the trauma they're experiencing, but it can allow them to have that sense of assured life is okay, because we've had a few years of being told the opposite, and that has got into a lot of people's minds. So set a little thing for yourself today, either with yourself or with somebody else. Try and get in the word safe in conversations. Oh, you'll safely understand this. Oh, is it safe for me to have a cup of tea now? Oh, where it doesn't make any meaning, but the mind is listening to that word and it can be influenced. So let's be safe, and let's send the unwanted stuff to trash, because we can. We're amazing. You're amazing. And if any time that you're feeling one of the things is really good, it's a distraction. Anytime that you need that, go and watch a Wellbeing Wednesday. There's loads of them. They're wonderful. They're a great distraction, and lots of them have got loads of techniques and methods that you can help with all sorts. And it's Wellbeing Wednesday is like a buffet of treats for us to help recover, be our best self in a gentle, caring, loving way. So there you go. That's me today.
Thank you, Maureen. You are a smorgasbord of words of wisdom.
Now, I can't say that. That's why I said buffet.
That's so interesting. I like that. Stop. Although the child in me wanted to do it while you were talking.
And that's good, because we all want to be children and feel free to do what we want. So,
but that would have been plain rude, and I would never do that to you. But it also made me think as well, and I'm sure this will ring in June's ears, about doing a whole session for children. Shall we do that? Even though us adults can take part, but geared towards children. What do you think?
We're all still children inside.
Yes.
I think of us like little Russian dolls, with all the little people inside of us that we have been. Yeah.
Very interesting. I like that. Oh, look.
There.
Like this.
I used to have one. God knows where it is. I have no idea.
And I like to be the 5-year-old. That is my best mindset, my happiest mindset when I was 5. So it's like, yeah. I'd forgotten I had these, June. Thank you.
Oh, I love Russian dolls.
But I think Let's Help Children is a brilliant idea. Fantastic.
Mm. Yeah.
And Wellbeing
Brilliant.
Wednesday, June's help, June's influence ripples through us all. I was there's a parent and a child on the brushing, and they were constipated, and I only half remembered, and so I was saying to brush, and it's like one person was doing, it's like, well, it didn't really work. And it's like, right, okay. So I asked June again, and then June said, it nice massage. Oh my God. And it worked a treat. And the parent was parent wasn't too bothered about herself, but was so happy that with the two of them, they've never been so joyous over a toilet episode. But that the influence is just so. Thank you again, June, for sharing your wisdom.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, if I'd invented it, I'd take the credit, but it's only, Touch for Health. It's amazing. And you know what? I forgot. Sorry, there's other people waiting to speak, but I forgot to mention when I was saying about getting help. If you're dealing with things that you are big and deep and old, just there are many therapies besides the kinesiology thing that we do in the class, because you can't always find a Touch for Health class to do that with, and there's an acupuncture technique that's used with the military for post-traumatic stress disorder, so that is really helpful, and there are others as well, so just thought I'd mention that.
And also, I would also recommend, whether you're in the emotional state that you can, or somebody, maybe a loved one, to speak to the person and get the assurance that they are confident that they're going to be able to help. Because with trauma, we want to make sure that we go to somebody that is confident that they're going to be helped, rather than, oh, well, we'll have a go and let's see what happens. No. So you're a customer, and if you can't voice it, then get somebody that close to you to go and do that exploring and find out, and ask the question, okay, what experience have you had with this condition? What success have you had with this condition? Because we don't want to be messing up persons with trauma. We want to treat them as gentle as possible. And unfortunately, I've had people that have come to me where their trauma has been made worse by a professional, and we want to avoid that completely. So go and do the due diligence, go and do your research. You're allowed to go and ask questions, and people that are successful with the methods that they use will tell you about that to give you the assurance. So sorry, just my pen.
I was going to say, don't forget that on the 24th of August, June is going to do a Touch for Health workshop for the PHA.
Yeah.
So yes, so that's going to be really exciting. Watch
out
for the little clips coming.
Short one.
But so you can sign up for the workshop, but we'll tell you more about that, and it will also be in the comments on YouTube. So I'm going to get us moving. I don't know how much everybody knows about how exercise is brilliant for helping prevent and treat chronic disease. It's a little bit overlooked. For example, with cardiovascular disease, the pharmaceuticals given out are usually beta blockers. So what we want to do with your heart is strengthen it. That's what we want to do. Beta blockers, they will stop maximal heart rate. So you won't be able to raise your heart rate without causing serious issues. And therefore, you're not strengthening your heart. So it's a kind of, catch-22 taking those. So yes. The other thing I found out as well, I found 2 really good articles. So I'm going to put them in the description as well. About the benefits of physical activity and exercise. We've spoken about both of those, haven't we, in previous wellbeing sessions. And there are gold guidelines to follow. If you maintain and follow those guidelines, especially the American College of Sports Medicine, they're the ones that are gold standard. And I've done actually a table, haven't I, in the past, which I can also take a shot of and put in the description. But if you I was reading the actual percentage yesterday, if you maintain and meet these, they can prevent 46% of deaths that are caused by inactivity. So that is massive. And another example is people with type 2 diabetes. Sedentary behavior means not moving, so sitting down and doing little. If you increase your sedentary behavior and you have type 2 diabetes, just for 1 hour a day, your risk of mortality increases by 13%. and it's little snippets of this information that we need to get out there. So if you can, move. Now, the problem with the guidelines is they can seem quite excessive. So just move, just start, just walk, just do anything that you can. Because once you start, most of you will be aware that a habit can form within 6 weeks. So just start, just move, go out to nature. We've talked about grounding before. Take your shoes off and walk through the grass. Just do anything that stops you sitting doing nothing. It can make you feel good as well. So I've just put together a quick 10-minute workout. We'll warm up as normal and we'll cool down. The 10-minute in between the little sets, you can, if you redo this video, you can do one set, you can double up on the sets. I've just made it so that we can increase the heart rate by adding sprints here, there and everywhere. So just take it steady. If you've not done exercise before, obviously just seek professional advice or get some guidance before you start. Listen to your body, don't overdo it. Rest when you need to. When we're doing a little bit of sprints, I say sprints, let's just jog, let's just walk fast. Whatever you feel like doing, just be safe. And let's stand up and get going. I was find it strange warming up without music because I'm so used to it. It seems silent. But well, let's go anyway. As with all the moves, I'd start slow and then build. So for example, when we warm up and we do a high arm, let's start low first and build up to it. The same when we do our squats and lunges, just go as low as you feel comfortable, just protect your joints and just have fun. Okay, when we're ready. Can you see my feet? Yeah, great. Okay, we're just going to step side to side. Again, do this at your own pace. A couple more, and then start taking the foot behind if that's comfortable. Your arms are going to naturally swing, just let them do so. Robyn and June both talk about the cross crawl, we do it quite a lot. It's my little gesture towards their teachings. Couple more, and then we're going to take the foot across the body in the front this time. We're going to whole body a nice warm up, a little stretch. Don't forget you can just step and move the foot. It doesn't have to go all the way across the body if you can't manage that. We're going to bring this down and then we're going to start by reaching to the sides. So just lift the heel to start with, keep the arms low or just let them swing. We're going to increase this slightly, taking the arms waist height. If you can, stretch across, and then when you're ready, you're going to take it higher. As your arms go higher, you might find your heart rate increasing. If it's too much at any stage, just bring them down. 3 more. Okay, we'll start lifting the knees. If you find this uncomfortable, just take support if you need to. Otherwise, just bring the knees high. And then, if you can, bring the arms across, high and over. We do 8 of these. 3 to go. And then we're going to kick back. So we're going to lift the foot behind. We're going to try and hit your bottom. If you keep your foot relaxed, you've got more chance of doing that. So from the front, you've got a wide stance. And then if you can, turn your palms back and just push behind you, stretching out the chest. We're working those shoulders. Well done. Let's do 4 more. Maureen is going for it this morning, I can see her. Relax. Just stand normally, just move your feet and then stop. That is your natural stance for your squats. So just walk, stop, your feet are in the right position. Make sure the knees follow the toes. Just sit your bottom back. We're just going to start with a few gentle little squats. Everyone's squat is different. Just make sure your chest is forward, your shoulders are back. You can wiggle your toes. There's no pressure through the knees. And then follow in the direction of the toes. When you're ready, if you want to get a bit deeper, you're going to swing down the arms, stand up and stretch. So swing and stretch. You can do this from a less knee bend. You don't have to go to a full squat. Let's do 5 more of these. Swing and stretch. Two more. Well done. And when you're ready, if you can, take the legs wider, and this time your toes are pointing out a little bit more. They don't have to be like a ballet dancer, but just make sure they're turned out so we're working the inner thigh. The knees are following the toes. So again, keeping your shoulders back, chest up. I've got very bad practice over the years and I'm not the best squatter. So I'm sure you are all amazing. So you'll go as low as you feel comfortable. Don't forget, this is just a warm up. Let's do 3 more. And then when you're ready, in this position, all you're going to do is flip one leg behind. I'm going to give you a little, I prefer these, call these a deep skater rather than a curtsy. I don't like that word anymore. If you can't do these, just step to the side. Any knee issues, that might be too much. So just step and bend. Keep moving the arms, let them do their thing. Let's do 3 more. Well done. Come back to centre. We're just going to take the shoulders back 3 times and then get the elbows up a little bit higher for 3 and then 3 big circles. And we are ready to go. I'm going to set the timer, but I would just shout you 3, 2, 1, just so everything is going to be 20 seconds. Again, rest when you need to and when you're ready. So we're going to start with sprints, jogs or walks for 20 seconds. So just on the spot, just walk it if you want. Well done, you've only got 5 seconds. 3, 2, plant the feet and just squat. Knee bends if you want to, little ones. Your heart rate should be raising nicely now. If it's too much, take a break. 3, 2, now just hold. You're going to hold this. I like to have my hands in prayer position. Make sure you can wiggle still your toes. Keep holding if you can. We've got 5 seconds. 3, 2, okay, ease off. And let's go back to sprinting or jogging on the spot. If you've got room, why not run around? Bring back your inner child. 3, 2, okay, let's go back to squatting. Take a break at any time you want. This whole set is less than 2 minutes. If you're not used to exercise, just take it easy. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Well done. Just bring your, excuse me, just bring your heart rate back down. We've got 20 seconds rest. And then we're going to go for a pogo. So it's a lean back behind and a kick forward. So your low impact would just be step and kick. Add a hop if you want to, lunge down and jump. So when you're ready, let's go for 20 seconds. Kick up. Only go bend down if you can without leaning over. You want to just reach towards the floor, protecting your back. 3, 2, 1, relax. And let's go back to sprinting for 20 seconds. And then we're going to change legs. This is a tough one. 10 seconds. 2, relax. This time it's the other leg, so just step and kick if you want to, or get a bit lower, add a hop. Well done. In 5 seconds, we're going to go back to the original leg. 3, 2, the original leg, and we're just going to lunge. So up and down. Make sure your feet are going facing forwards. Your knees are following the direction of your feet. You're not pushing that knee over the toes. All you're doing is sinking down. Don't worry about going too low. Just sink up and down. 3, 2, change legs. Keep chest forward, shoulders back. Look at your legs. You're trying to achieve 90 degrees. Just dip. Any problems with lunges, just stay with little squats. 3, 2, okay, back to the first leg. One more set of each. Is your heart rate still high? Fantastic. Well done. 5 seconds this side and then we change it again. 3, 2, let's change legs. Keep smiling. If you're doing this at home on your own, put your favourite music on, or your TV, whatever you like doing. Nobody really likes TV today. 3, 2, back to the front. We're just going to sprint this last 15 seconds and then we're going to rest. 5, 3, 2, 1, relax. Well done. Let's take our heart rate down just a little bit. We've got one more set coming up. And this time we're going to do, actually we've got 2 sets, but we'll see how it goes. We've got some skaters. So our fast skaters are what we did in the warm-up. Remember the curtsies, that's a nice low one. We're going to do fast one. So stay more upright, but you're still reaching forward, so you're not bending from the back. So when you're ready, just step to the side, take the leg behind, cross the arms in front of the body. So you can keep it here. If you want to make it harder, you can add a jump. Let's do it for 5 more seconds. And relax. Okay, you're just going to do the same thing, if you can, a little bit lower with your lunge, still using the arms if you want to, or put your hands where if you like. It's good to let your core do the balancing for you rather than holding. Let's go 3, 2, 1, back to centre. All you're going to do is take the legs out side to side, keeping the feet facing forwards. Stay here. Add a little jump if you want to. My timer's switched off. Keep going. Keep going. Let's do 5 more seconds of those. And relax. Straight into our skater deep lunge. 10 seconds. And when you're ready, last set of these, we're going a little bit faster. If you're confident you've done these before, you can touch the floor. But again, only if you can lunge down, not bending at the back. Or keep it higher and go a bit faster. It's up to you. 5, 3, 2, and relax. Well done. Can we get 2 more minutes in of another set? take a break. Don't forget, you can rest whenever you want to. Just take it down gently at the end. Don't suddenly stop. If you've had enough or you're worn out, just stand still, but wiggle the toes and the fingers just to make sure the blood continues going around the body and you're getting oxygen. Don't just stop. So this time back to our sumo position. Do you remember? Toes facing outwards, knees follow the toes. We can stay here. If you want to make it harder, you can add a little jump. So when you're ready, let's go. The interim is up on your toes without leaving the floor. Five seconds. Well done. Keeping the legs wide. You're going to come onto the toes. Well done. If you want, you can get a bit lower. Stay high. I quite like to turn it. American football style. Let's do 10. 5. Oh, it's my candle. 3, 2. Okay, now I'm going to hold. Just going to hold this squat. So think about your position. I do too many squats, I've got tight hips, I can't get lower. Try and get low if you can, pushing those knees back, following the direction of the toes, but keeping the chest up. 5, 4, 3, 2, back to little jumps. All coming up onto your toes and squatting. Well done, we're nearly there. Let's do 5 more. And take it to your last wide sprint. Thanks for staying with me, ladies. Fantastic job. 10, 9. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Just walk the feet in. Woo, give your legs a shake. I jumped so hard, my candle fell off. Well done, ladies. Great job. Just keep moving. Hopefully that's woken you up with Robyn's tapping to start us off and a little bit of jumping. So don't forget, mix and match the sets. That's all leg work. We haven't done any arms, but maybe that's something for the future. I encourage you to bring your tins. Okay, just take it down to a sway, bring the heart rate down. If you can, take the arms wide, push the palms back, stretch out the chest. Not that we need to do that, we haven't done much chest work, but it's just nice. It's nice to then turn the palms back, push back. If you find it uncomfortable, keep it low. Don't put too much pressure through, it's gentle all the way. And then when you're ready, you can take one arm across the body and gently pull slightly in, either at the lower arm or higher up, but not on the joint. I also like to give myself a hug. I think that's quite a nice stretch, but that's not to everybody's level of flexibility. We're all different. So if that's uncomfortable, stick with the arm across. And then we're going to change. And that's not derogatory at all, because I'm not very flexible, it's just what you practice. Well done. So again, if you're one arm across the body, make sure the hips stay forward in that position. Otherwise you'll just turn and not really be doing anything. Okay, we're going to have a quad stretch. So this is important today because you've done a lot of squats. If you want to hold on to something and grab one foot, that's fine. You're bringing your foot towards your bottom, the knees are staying together, but you're pushing at the hips, so you're creating that resistance. If you prefer, you can take one step back into a high lunge, dip just a little bit and then push the hips forward, and you're stretching the back leg. So whichever's comfortable for you. I'll stay here now, I'm here. You're going to feel that stretch down the front of the leg. Let's do another 5, 4, 3. Well done. Ease off, change sides. So again, hold on for support if you want to. Bottom, foot towards the bottom. Push the hips forward, keep the knees together. Or your high lunge, dip, tilt. 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Okay, just give the legs a little shake. Keep your feet narrow. You're going to push the bottom right up into the air. So if you can come up onto your toes, that helps you achieve it a little bit more. Hold on if you need to. So you're going to come up onto your toes, stick your bum back and then lower your heels. A lot of people can't touch their toes. We've done this, I think, in one of our sessions before. They're never going to reach your toes from that position. It's impossible. But if you come up onto your toes, stick your bum out, you hinge for the hips, and then you can touch your toes. Never force it, it will come if it doesn't now. And then when you're ready, you're going to stay in this position, but you're going to bring the toes of one foot up. If it's more comfortable, you can, of course, take one leg back. Bring the toes up and sit back. I just find it's more of a stretch, staying upright. And then ease off, bring the other foot up. You might feel this is a bit dramatic stretching for the small amount of exercise we did, but just remember, once you have got a good warm up and cool down, you can apply it to any other exercise program. Just lower the head, come up very, very slowly. Head is always last. You're going to take a big wide stance, and then I love this bit, just flop forward to wherever you reach. It might be up here, that's fine. And then you're just going to relax your head and shoulders. Hang like a rag doll. Bring out your inner child again. Hold for a couple of seconds. And then you're going to take a big breath in. On the out breath, you're going to reach all the way around in a big circle. Reaching high. And then the other side. Coming back to the bottom again, ragdoll. Big breath in. On the out breath, reach the other way this time. Stretch, 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 stretch. Reaching high all the way around. Hold it at the bottom. Big sigh. Another breath. In. On the out breath, reach forwards. Nice and slowly. Come up slowly. And then I always like to finish with a couple of big circles. And a round of applause. Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. And well done. Thank you very much, ladies. And thank you for another fabulous Wellbeing Wednesday session. It's been great to have you here. Don't forget, all our other recordings can be found on our channel. I will share the Wellbeing Wednesday folder because on our YouTube channel, we've got playlists. So all of our different recordings are sectioned. There is a Wellbeing Wednesday playlist. And some of our recordings are still on Mumble, so I'll add them both so you can find them both. But thank you so much to June Tranmer, Robyn Tranmer and Maureen Fearon, and for everyone else that has joined us, thank you. And we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful Wellbeing Wednesday.